you feel left out. And I said that it is also the dealer's duty to induce you. It is the dealer's duty to induce you. So every time when a dealer comes out of the Asian box, I said that there are some setups whereby when the dealer leaves the Asian session, because he knows that he's supposed to form a nice setup and move. But the reason why he doesn't do like that, he wants to trap people. So what he will do is he will start by spiking up, then come down, form a setup and go up. Now, by going up with these moves, can you see that? He will take out a lot of people with those moves. And that is where most of the accounts, they suffer. That is where most accounts suffer because of these false breakouts. And we see these false breakouts appearing on Euro USD on this day. I know some people took it as a buy and they profited even with $50. But we were waiting for a proper setup that was going to appear, and pay us even 3 times what it paid you in the morning. So these kind of breakouts, the dealer loves giving them all the time in order to induce traders to go the wrong direction, to make traders feel left out and make irrational decisions. Now, yesterday we then said that now since we had this move, we all agreed that the following day, the market has to come to the 200 EMA and give us what we call a safety trade. And to give us what we call a safety trade. Dave, can you please mute your mic? Dave, mute your mic. You are making noise. Now, Miles, can you please mute your mic? Everyone who is joining, please mute your mics. You are making noise. So now we were waiting for a safety trade. And somebody can even ask me that, how do you then know the future before it happens? How do you know the future before it happens? Like I always say to you that the market will always follow, will always go the same pattern. The market will always go the same pattern. This pattern never changes. It only needs you to be able to discover it. The market never changes. It only needs you to be able to discover it. So now if you come here to Euro USD, you realize that on Euro USD, we had a peak formation. We had a peak formation that took almost about 4 days. That took almost about 4 days. So we were expecting a level 1 at the 200 EMA. That's why yesterday we said, wherever the market is going to open, we are waiting for a stop onto the 200 EMA, then we kill the dealer. I remember we even drew our line saying that in the morning, it's going to be a sell. After being a sell, it's going to push down. So if you check it carefully, you realize that from your TDI, you have an MPL bounce on the second leg. you have an MPL bounce on the second leg. And yesterday we said that all our M's, we know them on the TDI by the MPL bounce. Most of them, we know them by the MPL bounce. So we know that we are going to have a sell or a buy setup by the MPL bounce. If we check the previous day, you realize that on the previous day, we had an MPL bounce right there. We had an MPL bounce right there. If you check the previous day, we had an MPL bounce right there. So in other words, it means that your first leg of the peak or your W or your LOD will, in most cases, always tap the boundary of the TDI, will always tap the boundary of the TDI. But then your second leg will then bounce on. Now someone can ask me, what is an MPL? An MPL, we call it the market baseline. We call it the market baseline. An MPL, we are talking about this yellow line that you are seeing there on your TDI. The yellow line you are seeing there on your TDI is what we call the MPL line. So in most cases, the second leg will always bow on the MPL line. Yesterday we spoke about the bow on the MPL line, and you can see this is your second leg seated on the 200 EMA, and this is the bounce on MPL, the bounce on your MPL. That's where, when I get to such levels, to press until it says not enough money, because I know this is the point whereby the dealer will not reverse, and the dealer will action which I am giving him. You get the point now? The direction which I am giving him. So tomorrow, what we are expecting from the market tomorrow, since we had a peak and we had a safety trade, tomorrow we are expecting the dealer to bounce again on the 200 EMA. We're expecting the dealer to come and bounce again on the 200 EMA and give us the last push. So we'll have 1, 2, and third push. So tomorrow we continue buying. So if you bought Euro USD today, leave it like that. Don't close it. You can even see for yourself the position of the Asian boxes, that it's now going up, showing you that your next Asian box tomorrow is going to be at this position. That's where your Asian box is going to be, at that position. So you are expecting your 200 EMA to at least be near or touching the box. You're expecting your 200 EMA to be at least near or touching the box. So I hope this makes proper sense. Arthur, can you please zoom today's activity? I only want to see today's activity. Now, on today's activity, yesterday we discussed yesterday's activity. Now, on today's activity, this is what we call the Asian box. The blue box is what we call the Asian box. This here, the gray box, is what we call the market gap. It's more or less like a session changeover, whereby we are entering the London and leaving the Asian. Now, this becomes our end of the London and the beginning of the New York. Let me give you a tip about this market. Your second leg will always appear at session changeover will always appear at session changeover. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about this second leg, and it's appearing exactly at the close of the session changeover. Look at that second leg appearing at the close of the session changeover, and your first leg will always appear 30 to 45 minutes into the London session. 30 to 45 minutes into the London session. Please, Aaron, can you please mute your mic? Aaron, please mute your mic. You're making noise. Right. I said that your first leg will always appear 30 to 45 minutes into London session. But your second leg will appear at session changeover of New York and London. And this is so common to USD pairs. This is so common to USD pairs. They love holding sessions. They love holding sessions. Even if you check from this activity here, this is as good as holding the whole session of New York and the whole session of London and Asian, and only moving during the New York, holding the whole session and moving during the New York. Now, what makes people tired about holding these pairs is that you want to enter your buy during this time. The dealer will always hit you. If you enter on this leg, you will get into profit. The next thing you are back at entry or in a loss. You will find that you spend 4 hours holding a pair on a loss or little profit, waiting for it. Even if this move comes, you can close here because you have waited for a long time waiting for the setup to move because you entered at the wrong time. But if I enter here, I can hold up to there because I came at the right time when the setup was supposed to move. Same applies. If I enter here, I can hold until there. But if you entered there, if you get here, you close. Even if you see this setup, you will be afraid to enter because at the back of your mind, you are thinking, this is maybe an M formation, maybe it's about to reverse. You get the point now. So the dealer will always do moves to try and trick you into exiting the market. But as long as you know that you are expecting a safety trade, you're not afraid. I remember when I asked somebody that, where is the position of our ADR low today? And he told me that our ADR low is at this value where it is now. And I saw candles touching that ADR low, and I knew that as long as they've touched the ADR low, it means that's exactly where our stop band is going to be at the 200 EMA. And what did they do? They bought all their way up. And I remember yesterday I told you that you can't use your TP as your ADR because an ADR is the average daily movement, and your ADR is a speculation, so we can't use it as the TP. Your ADR is only there as a guideline. So if we want to use a TP, we can only use what? major EMAs. We can use major EMAs. So now that Euro USD actually closed the market almost where it closed yesterday, we know that tomorrow they are supposed to move even higher to cover up for the space that they didn't move yesterday. Because there was, last week they were supposed to close the market somewhere there, stop unto the 200, then move to the 800. But they didn't do that. They actually closed it far off. So the reason why they retraced here, this is a resistance, but there is nothing like a resistance here. The market maker knows that you believe in psychological support and resistance. He then knows that you are going to keep on holding yourself, while he is going to stop and on the 200 and continue going up and violating your resistance. I don't know if that makes sense. I am going to actually close this Zoom meeting because we are now, I think, 3 minutes or so. So I'm going to close it and start a new meeting, or maybe Arthur is going to start a new meeting. The new meeting is going to be a question and answer meeting whereby you state your problem, and then I will try and exhaust whatever I know to try and answer it. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. If I know, it's going to start maybe in 5 minutes' time. I'm going to talk about the question and answers. So please, we can now exit this one and wait for the new ID that Arthur is going to create for us.